What is the similarity between SAP, HANA and the Titanic? Do you know that? Can we predict whether you would survive the Titanic in 1912? Do you know that? And today we are recording in Den Bosch at the office of ITrainee, who organized together with the VNSG, the user group of the Netherlands, a CodeJam called Machine Learning with SAP HANA. And the host is Vitaliy Rudnytskiy. And I think if only the passengers in 1912 from the Titanic, if they had access to Vitaliy's database and CodeJam results before stepping into the Titanic, that would change history a lot. Welcome to HANA Café, the Netherlands.
HANA Café Nederland is een podcast met nieuws vanuit de SAP-wereld. In het café spreken de gasten en stamgasten over ontwikkelingen, innovaties, events of praten ze gewoon weer eventjes bij. Laten we snel naar binnen gaan.
Welcome, dear listeners, to HANA Café, the Netherlands, and especially also welcome to Vitaliy.
Thank you.
And to Rakesh. I'm sorry. Welcome as a participant today. You will share the results of today's CodeJam. And the first question, Vitaliy, is, how can you compare the Titanic with a train?
I'm usually, asking this question to my participants, not that I have to answer this question. But so for those of you who didn't participate in my SAP CodeJam yet, then let me just explain a little bit of the insider joke that Twan just used. So basically, during this SAP CodeJam on getting started with machine learning using SAP HANA, we are using one of the very famous machine learning beginners challenges, which is to predict who survived on Titanic. And then obviously the data set based on which we are training this data is called train. So, yes, it's not Titanic the train, it's Titanic the ship. And yes, the train is the train data set, and then test is the data set on which we are trying to use the machine learning model produced by SAP HANA to predict who would survive.
Yeah, because you mentioned in the beginning that you did not watch the movie The Titanic.
I didn't.
So I thought maybe I have to explain that the Titanic is a ship instead of a train, but it's the model that you...
Thank you.
Okay.
So I guess it didn't change the course of history so much, like you said in the intro, because it would still sink. It wouldn't collide.
But with more people knowing of the model and the probability that they would drown, then
they would basically pay more for the first class ticket.
Yeah.
yeah.
So because that's the outcome.
Next time, basically, once you decide to fly to Mars, should it be available, remember, pay more, travel safer.
That's the easier way to survive. You can pay for survival.
Is that a way to convince my employer of flying business class instead of economy?
I don't know.
Our employer.
Should be in a position to answer exactly, because this is our employer. But yeah, actually, absolutely agree with you. Business class is preferable if we are thinking about the security.
Yeah. Okay. But let's step into the content of today's CodeJam. Vitaliy, maybe you can explain a little bit what we did today.
Yes, because I think that we started on quite a grim, tone with discussing Titanic and disaster that happened almost more than 100 years ago. So the CodeJam that I'm running, once again, I mentioned the title already. It is getting started with machine learning using SAP HANA, but the idea is to wear the data science hat during this CodeJam and to go through the cycles of being this data scientist, working with building the model that is improving its accuracy with every iteration, but obviously using SAP HANA as the one of the kind of like components in this, and then we are using Python and Python machine learning client for SAP HANA to communicate with the database. So once again, it took me personally about 2 weeks to understand some of the very basic concepts of what I'm trying to teach or to help participants to learn during one day, and then I'm asking them to learn in 1 hour what took me 2 weeks to understand.
Challenging.
But, It's probably challenging for me, but looking at the faces, I think that I'm really lucky because I always getting, this group that get this much faster than me. So it makes me really happy, and therefore I believe that these CodeJams at the end, they are really something that people are getting the knowledge, getting the ideas, getting at least intuition, because it is not really about, how do I write particular line of code, but it is to get intuition, to get understanding how to work with this.
Yeah. So it's Master Jedi Vitaliy training all the Padawans that are available today in ITrainee.
I sometimes feel that, I'm the Padawan and then I have 20 Jedis in the room.
Okay. Luckily they don't bring their laser swords with them today. Okay. Thank you very much. And then let's go to you, Rakesh. How did you experience the CodeJam?
It was a good experience, I would say. I have attended a lot of CodeJam in the past, but this was also very nice. And of course, Vitaliy's CodeJam was my first experience. Mm-hmm. He was a quite interesting instructor. So I really enjoyed it.
You can be honest, huh?
Yeah.
Not that I'm sitting next to you and listening. So sorry about that. Maybe I should move to another room while you're answering this question.
Yeah.
And also, I like the material, how it is organized. It really gives us the insight to learn a lot of new things. I remember, 8 years ago, I did a small exercise and training in Juniper Notebook. But since then, I've never worked on Juniper. But this time, I really enjoyed how it is integrated directly into the BAS. So we can, I was using in the past the PAL algorithms, the machine learning algorithms directly from the HANA on-prem or the cloud. But this is directly, I would say it's very good that it is. You can directly call the Python integrated into your BAS, and you can call, achieve the same results with a very less the piece of code that you need to write a lot of stored procedure to achieve the same result.
Yeah, that's what I recall as well. By the way, it's nice that you, that we revive these kind of memories, because I think about 5-6 years ago I was doing a course as well, Jupyter notebooks, and they were definitely not integrated in BAS. And also, if you look at them, they were the data frames that we were working with that were wrapped into pandas. What I learned, we were working with them directly rather than through this nice framework.
It speed up the development and analysis of the data scientists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned this, by the way, because I was talking the week before. I was talking to one of my colleagues. I said, this data intelligence, that's why I started learning these kind of things. Does it still exist? And what happened to the Jupyter notebooks? Are they still around? Well, not apparently in data intelligence anymore, but in BAS now.
Yeah.
And Vitaliy brought them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to Vitaliy. So today it's a lot about AI. If you do it like this on your shirt, then we have AI. Ooh. Oh, where's my who? Okay.
Should we repeat it?
Yeah, but I need to something. I lost my who. Ooh, I will do it live. But okay, today is a lot about AI, generative AI, but today's CodeJam was about machine learning. Maybe you can explain the difference to our listeners.
So I started kind of learning artificial intelligence when I was still a student in 1990s. And since then, I believe that, we need to call the same things by the new names again and again and again, right? So when I started this, it was artificial intelligence. And then when I finished my studies and I went into my first company to work, it happened to be data mining. And then it was called predictive analytics. And then it was called advanced analytics. And then it was called machine learning. And now we are calling this once again artificial intelligence, right? So
back to the basics.
To some extent, it is just calling the same things, mathematical, statistical things by the new names. But obviously, I would say that with every generation or with every iteration, with every name change, there is as well still an improvement. Sometimes evolutionary, sometimes revolutionary improvement in what we are doing in this space. And obviously, right now, the current hype around artificial intelligence is coming from the capability that we got with the chatbots that are using generative AI, right? And that's why all of the sudden, I believe there is such an interest in this getting started with machine learning CodeJam, something that I wouldn't probably experience 3 years ago before ChatGPT, dropped. And all of the sudden, everyone is talking about artificial intelligence once again. So to your point about difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning, just to quickly remind that actually machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. There are different kind of like areas in artificial intelligence as well, like expert systems, like robotics. And then as part of the machine learning, we have something that used to be called deep learning for last 10 years. And then part of the deep learning is actually generative AI, right? Hey. So even though everyone is excited about generative AI, which is a small subset of the overall AI, everyone is calling this AI now.
Yeah. Also at the stage of Sapphire last week and the week before that, it was a lot about AI, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. But
I liked what you said about the hibernations as well. When you first started off, I mean, the first time I heard about neural networks, it was in the late 1990s, right? And since I've been, studying the subject at school, afterwards I didn't hear anything about it for a long time anymore. And then suddenly it comes up again and goes away. And
it's not going away yet, but we will see what will be the hype next year. Maybe quantum computing will come and all of a sudden we all will forget about this and no one will come back to listening to me.
It's also something what you explained in the beginning, so it's also about job titles. And I remember still that you have this shirt presenting about data, and you had the shirt of data nerd, or I was a data nerd before data was cool or something.
Yes, I was a data geek before it was popular.
Okay, yeah. So
I did AI before it was popular.
Yeah,
exactly.
We need to get this shirt with this, just like I was AI engineer before it became the job profession.
Yeah,
same
and Jan knows how to order the shirt, right?
Yeah, I know where it is now.
So we just need to find someone to pay.
So someone bought the whole stock, I think. So now only S and XS is available, but hopefully in the future it will be back on the merchandise store.
Yeah,
yes.
let's try to buy it for Citronel, and then we can maybe give it away to a winner of some kind of quiz or so that we can organize during the event.
Yep. And another thing that I liked very much in the same introduction that you made was the fact about if you develop an application, if you build a Fiori application, you build it against, Rakesh, you should tell it.
It was...
Your question wasn't finished.
Oh. No.
What's the answer?
Because Rakesh was like nodding like, yes, I know the story. I want to tell it. So I give him the honors.
But sorry, Jan, it sounded like typical large language model. Yeah, just like I start the sentence and you need to finish. And the most probable words that you can put, to finish the sentence. Sorry for interrupting.
You know what I was referring to? Like if you're an application developer, you build a Fiori application, you connect it to an API, just a common API, something that does something with, for instance, purchase orders. You call yourself an application developer, and as soon as you connect your Fiori application to something that slightly has to do with AI, you can call yourself an AI developer. And
not
you can
AI, not AI developer, AI engineer.
Engineer, and then you can put it on your job profile.
Yes,
and then you can ask for a raise. Yeah, there.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
So maybe in the future we'll have quantum engineers as well, if you want to have a race again.
Yeah, it just engineers probably will be associated with AI. So quantum will be quantum professor. Yeah, it sounds
quantum professor.
Quantum executive.
That's a nice one. Chief quantum officer. Yeah. Okay. But let's go to Rakesh. You're a consultant, right?
Yes.
So, how are you applying machine learning or today's learnings in your consulting life at your customers?
As of now, there are a lot of business. There is a lot of buzz around the business, to use this AI machine learning stuff. But no one is really having the clear idea. What is the real business case? And now every company is now going into the business and they researching. What in what business case these new buzz words like AI or ChatGPT, these can be utilized and can improve the life of the business users. So still there are a lot of investigation going on among the business community to get some real business case. To be honest, I have not seen yet the real business case. Although it's like creating something artificial cases, but it is really not the real business case until if it is an insurance company or the bank loan company, banks that has the huge data to determine something. But I remember one case from the retail area. Specifically, I remember one of the retail customer, they implement the machine learning in the forecasting of the fresh products, where basically they products the shelf, based on the shelf life, and there are a lot of different parameters they predict when these fresh products will expire. If based on this prediction, they basically order these products from their vendors. If they basically order less, then it's an undersell, and if they order high, then it's a wastage. So that is the one case which I really see in it's a real use case in today's life.
Do you think it's the responsibility of SAP consultants, like we're working in technology, to bring these new opportunities to customers?
Yes.
And to talk about not just about technology, but about the business case.
Cases,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Vitaliy, so say you're interested in machine learning capabilities at customer side. What would be your recommendation for a customer that does not do any machine learning or AI right now? What is necessary to start? Can you give any recommendations on that?
So the first thing that I always start saying is remove the hype from this. But it is really difficult to remove the hype because I often refer that what we're experiencing right now is another example of consumerization of IT, right? So you might remember, for those of us who are staying in the business, in this kind of like IT career for a while already, that this consumerization of IT started with the Google search, right? Yeah. So before that, customers were used that if you are running some report or if you need to get the data, you wait for 20, 30 minutes and to get the data from the previous day, right? And then Google search came, and then everyone's just like, why in my consumer life I can search something immediately on the vast amount of data in internet, but I need to wait in my business life, right? So this gave kind of like, this push into new data stores, something that was called NoSQL for a while and so on, right? And this is where as well we as SAP invested in SAP HANA. And then the other consumerization of IT moment came when people started getting smartphones with the release of iPhone, and then just like, why can I use applications for everything on my small phone, but I need to run SAP GUI when I need to do any transaction, right? So then SAP had to come with Fiori as the response to this business need coming from our user experience or consumer experience, right? And for me right now, we are really in another example of this consumerization of IT, because obviously ChatGPT was released primarily to us as consumers. Yeah? And then we are just like, oh my God, it can answer all these different questions for all the different areas with such a nice precision. Okay, if we are not if the system is not hallucinating at least. So it can answer all these questions based on this huge amount of data in the internet. Why we cannot experience something like this in our business life, right? So this is where, again, we as consumers started driving, just like we want to have similar experience in our business processes, in our business systems, but then what does it mean? Yeah. So I had different customers as well, kind of like who I had a chance to talk to, who are saying, you know what, our business leaders told us to think about all the different things that we can do with generative AI, but we don't know what we can do with that. Yeah. So it is quite a typical problem. But I think that what we need to understand is that there are two approaches to that. One is where we use existing systems and we embed generative AI into them. But then we need to remember that generative AI is primarily about generating text and about generating images. And obviously, we don't want data in tables to be generated based on,
some imaginary invoice,
some imaginary invoices and some imaginary numbers for income.
Imaginary customers.
And especially with some of the issues that we can still see with these, chatbots, be this hallucination, be this jailbreaking, be this, prompt injection. We need to be, or we want to be, obviously a little bit cautious about this technology. On the other hand, obviously, this experience that we have right now with this Gen AI chatbots is about them using as agents, right? And this is really the area in which I believe it is going to develop, especially in business systems, where we are not embedding Gen AI into systems, but we are embedding systems into Gen AI, right? So it means that we have these agents that on behalf of us will be reaching out to different systems, including business systems like S4 HANA or SuccessFactors or Concur, and executing some operations on our behalf. And this is where actually I see the future as well for application developers or AI engineers and people who are going to build these solutions, because this is kind of like your new UI. This is your new user interface to the systems, where through the chatbot you communicate with all these different systems, and then this agent that is kind of like presented as a chatbot, knows how to orchestrate your task and how to call the different APIs in all these different systems in appropriate order, just to fulfill particular task, right? And this is once again where I see primarily it is going to go in the business systems in nearest, 1-2 years.
Yeah, it will open up.
That's mind blowing, actually. Just when we thought that we were kind of like on a right track with Fiori and the latest and greatest that we see in user experience, now you're saying that needs to change all over again?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it is something to build on top of that as additional experience.
It's a different way of communicating with your ERP system.
Exactly. So a new user experience in that sense, right?
But it's added too. So you can still have your power users doing transactions, but
my wife, she's financial analyst. She's still using SAP GUI, because this is what she, as financial analyst, is the most convenient. She's the most used to do. And then obviously you cannot ask sales rep traveling to the customer to use SAP GUI. They need Fiori experience, right? And then this new user experience based on these agents in chatbot is kind of like broadening and opening even more what you can do and how you can, achieve your goals in executing business processes.
It depends on the role. Yeah. Okay. Jan?
Yeah.
Jan, can I have the difficult question this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's not going to be difficult, okay?
Jan.
Yeah. You're talking through the jingle. That's not allowed in a radio show.
Yeah, but the thing was, the jingle is in Dutch.
Yeah, so let's do it again.
I feel entitled.
De moeilijke vraag van
Twan.
Jan.
I would like to ask the moeilijke vraag.
Yeah.
So which in English means the difficult question.
Exactly.
Jan. It was I asked to ask the difficult question.
I'm about to.
I like to ask the difficult question.
So can I ask a difficult question? Guys, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what's the difficult question, Twan?
I wanted to ask a difficult question to you, Jan. So what is EDA?
Event-driven architecture.
Vitaliy, what is EDA?
Rakesh, what is EDA?
I forget.
No. Okay.
That was the most important thing of today's CodeJam.
Yeah. So I kept telling that it was the most important for you to remember something, at least, that if you want to be convincing as the person wearing the hat of the data science, you need to know what EDA is, and it is exploratory data analysis.
It's not event-driven architecture.
Well, there's different meanings, right? So it depends on what angle you come from.
Yes, you're right. But that was a difficult question.
Now there will be difficult answer from me, because actually you need to look into the latent space, and this is another word that we are introducing right now. And latent space is something that represents the meaning of our human words in multidimensional vector space as embeddings, for example, stored in the vector engine in HANA. So we would really need to check there how close EDA and EDA are in the meanings, and what are the neighbors, in sense of the distance between different vectors, between different embeddings for EDA. But obviously, before we get the answer, I would need to tune this so that I'm getting the answer that I need.
Yeah, I think it's 42.
So I guess the question is, whether you'd like to be on the enlightened side or whether you'd like to be on the dark side. The dark side says event-driven architecture.
So you mean all people working on integration are working on the dark side?
Antonio, we love you, man.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Can I ask a question as well? There. Kaboom! Fine. Okay, so what we had is the CodeJam today.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, what I learned is that the systems for the CodeJam will end, or will close this weekend, after this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So the folks that have not attended this CodeJam won't have the opportunity to go through the exercises. However, I learned that there is a challenge on the internet that has been set up by a very famous person. And
is he on the table?
The challenge is called SAP HANA Multimodel using Python in SAP Business Application Studio.
Wow.
And I learned that it's still open and that there's amazing prizes to win.
A shirt?
No, the handshake.
Oh, okay.
Virtual handshake with me. Thank you, Jan. I didn't expect that you will bring this topic. I expected that I will bring this topic.
Okay.
And
that's a different podcast, right?
And that's why I started, already talking about searching this vector multidimensional space for embeddings for EDA and EDA, because actually I wanted, to do this, plug about the developer challenge that I'm running right now on SAP Community. And in this case, indeed, to kind of like, if you don't mind, let me just do a two-part answer. So indeed, the system that participants used today was provided by me or provided by our team, and it is available only till the end of the weekend. But if you want to try some of the things that we were practicing here today, namely HANA Machine Learning AutoML, that I would like to mention that there is something that is called, unfortunately, we just recently renamed this at SAP. It used to be called Guided Experience System. Now it is, I believe, called Basic Trial System. And Basic Trial System is where you can get 30 days account in the shared instance with HANA ML enabled, and it is accompanied by different exercises that you can find as well, and you can execute. And the one of these exercises is actually, to run AutoML in this system that is provided to you, and you have the 30-day access. And then recently there was one more exercise added to this basic trial, which was all about the vector engine. And vector engine is something that you can practice, obviously, in this guided experience or in this basic trial, and it is something that you can experience as well by participating in the developer challenge for the month of June 2024 that I prepared for you, and that is available on SAP Community. So
if you can share the link with me, then I can also share it with the show notes so that people can just click through and join.
Sure. https://groups.community.sap.com, and then go into the groups and interest groups and application development, and you will find it right there featured. If you don't want to follow, all the steps that I did, then obviously we will include the direct link as well.
That you remember that URL, that's an applause, right? So, but I will put it in the link in the show notes. Of course, you know it by heart. But
thank you.
Yeah, good that you share that people can still participate and learn about this working with a machine learning model and on HANA and using a trial account.
That's good to know, because the whole thing started on the 5th of June, and weekly submissions are expected or hoped for.
Yes, so every Wednesday during the month of June, I'm publishing new weekly challenge, but you can join this challenge until the very end, which is July 3rd. So I'm trying to make this so that it shouldn't consume more than probably 30 up to 60 minutes of your time every week. So it should be short and sweet and show you some of these new capabilities, right? And to do this as well in the fun way. So not talking about, something as tragic as Titanic, but at least finding which breeds among pets are looking the most similar using this similarity search in SAP HANA vector engine.
So even though it started on the 5th of June, it's not too late to join yet, right?
Yeah. Everyone still can join, and as long as you are submitting your answers before July 3rd, you can still get
the chance
one
of a handshake.
This virtual handshake and digital badge.
And obviously the opportunity to learn more about machine learning and the vector engine in HANA.
Yes, I hope that you come for the digital badge and you stay for the knowledge.
HANA Café Nederland.
Okay, let's wrap it up for today. So, Rakesh, what was your experience on today's CodeJam? How did you experience the exercises? Was it difficult?
Yeah, I find few of the exercise difficult, but it's like too much to do in one day. So I anyway need to go back home and see the explanation which is mentioned on the exercises and what are they and how we can improvise those exercises. Yeah, that's it. So rest of the thing is pretty good. A lot of things we learned today. Yeah, but it's a very lengthy exercise, I would say.
It's a lot to process.
Yes, I had to pack in few hours something that I was learning myself during quite a few months. But at the same time, as I mentioned, just like sorry for overloading, but at the same time, I just wanted you to get the concepts, to get the intuition, and then it just should remove a little bit of the magic from this whole AI, and to show you that it requires some work, but it is doable.
It gives you you showed the practicalities and how to use it.
Maybe also good to know that it doesn't require you to take such a long time in real. I mean, with the AutoML functionality that's in there, which you should have shown us before.
Without struggling through the whole day.
We could have condensed this CodeJam in, let's say, half an hour.
And then we would all gone.
Yeah. And also a question to you, Vitaliy. How did you experience the Dutchies today in your CodeJam?
As I said, I felt like Padawan in front of the group of Jedis. But I would like to mention as well that my whole experience traveling here to Netherlands was extremely pleasant. Last night, hosts in the sense of those people who organized this CodeJam took me for a little bit of walk to see the city, and then we had quite a long discussion just in restaurant. So I would like to thank very much Jan and Ono and the rest of the people who made this possible, because it was really a great experience for me.
All right. Thank you.
What will be thanks to this, I can participate in this HANA Café NL for the very first time, if it is still the name.
We're waiting for events that we can visit together. So like SAP TechEd for something, and then we can record new HANA Cafés. But okay, we did it today.
Yeah, so, Willem, you're getting a lot of credits at the moment. So
by Vitaliy. yeah. Also credits. Yeah, you cannot hear it, but you get an applause. And what will be your next stop, Vitaliy?
So next week, this time, I should be in Berlin, and there will be another CodeJam hosted this time by Zalando Payment there, and going through the same exercises. But thanks to all the feedback that I'm getting here, I hope that I will make it even more digestible and easier to survive during these 6 hours. And as well, I'm glad that every time I'm going somewhere, kind of like we are trying to as well re-energize the local community by getting together for a beer. So we are going to have SAP Stammtisch in Berlin the night before. Hopefully there's not too many beers, so that we still can do SAP CodeJam the next day.
Yeah.
So what needs to happen in order for you or one of your colleagues to come over and to do such a CodeJam?
Bring a beer.
So you need to go to SAP community platform.
Or share the link.
I'll share the link. Yeah.
And request for a CodeJam. Maybe there is a library. There is a library of CodeJams that you can select from.
Sure. So on SAP community, we have this group that is called SAP CodeJam, and then you can find all the topics that are available for the moment, and you can find the whole procedure how to request to have the SAP CodeJam in your location.
Yeah. So anyone can just request that CodeJam to come over, and
obviously there is a little bit of commitment that is associated with that as well, right? Because we from SAP side we sent one of the SAP experts,
top rock stars.
Top rock stars or bottom rock stars like me, but actually I'm not the rock star.
You're playing the guitar later.
But obviously there is kind of like, something from our side, and then from the host side, it is the requirement to provide the room, the internet, and the place for people from the local community to get together and to participate in this CodeJam.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vitaliy. Thank you, Rakesh, for joining. Thanks, Jan. I think I forgot you again to welcome you in the podcast.
Is it veel dank?
What?
Thanks, Jan-Willem.
Thanks, Jan-Willem, but he does not have the mic and there is no camera. But Jan-Willem is also...
I can shout.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks for joining the dear listeners, dear viewers, to today's episode of the recapping the CodeJam machine learning using SAP HANA with the host Vitaliy Rudnytskiy and of course our participant Rakesh.
At ITrainee.
En at ITrainee. Ja.
Dankjewel voor het luisteren naar deze aflevering van HANA Café Nederland. Heb je feedback voor ons? Laat het dan zeker weten. Wil je ook een keer aanschuiven in het café? Stuur ons een berichtje en geef gelijk aan waar je het over wilt hebben. Tot de volgende keer.
Bye.
Veel dank.